Welcome to another TIAS, Infinite Ammo Syndicate. That's a lot to say. Infinite Ammo Syndicate one-on-one podcast. I'm here with one of the EU members, Mr. PsychoRender. Martin, say hello.
Hello. Hi.
Alrighty. So, today we're going to be talking about a lot of the Evil Within 2 stuff. So, you want to go on with the first question?
Oh yeah. With the Survive trailer finally being revealed, what were your overall thoughts on the trailer? I got this I don't know, my initial thoughts were just you're doing the style of Resi 4, better than any Resi game has done for the past 6-7 years. That's the impression I got overall. But other than that, I've some themes really struck me as weird in that trailer. I don't know. It's a bit Illuminati-esque. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I hope... My mom's moving shit downstairs. I hope that's not going to pick up. That might actually pick up, but... I was actually looking at the trailer. I think I watched it maybe 5 or 6 times, just like the E3 trailer.
Yeah.
And I wasn't disappointed, but I was kind of underwhelmed. Because I was hoping for more, because they did say it was gameplay trailer, and there was gameplay in there. But it wasn't as much as I thought it would be. Still strong with the whole artistic murder thing, because I think they're really pushing that for the promotional material, is just artistic murder.
Yeah, I noticed. I noticed that too.
Okay.
I got the big Hannibal vibes of mutilating bodies, but then displaying them in an artistic manner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that too. That felt really weird to me. It's I'm getting a shitload of Hannibal vibes from this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we had we had that and a couple of screenshots too, but we'll get to the screenshots. So that stuff wasn't bad. And then I also kind of like this whole vibe of Sebastian's guilt kind of manifesting itself, but in the form of his daughter's voice. Where she's blaming him and stuff like that. It's all your fault.
Yeah, yeah, you should have been there or whatever. I remember that.
Yeah. So with the second question, did you notice anything in particular in that trailer that stood out to you personally?
A line by Sebastian himself saying, "I have to find her before he does anything horrible to her." So I assume it implies that there's gonna be a race to find her before this artistic killer is gonna do something really terrible to her.
Right.
Yeah, which that sounds like a great subplot actually.
Yeah, I think that it ties in really well because, you think of Ruvik, and Ruvik was I don't mind him as an antagonist, but there was no real It didn't really matter if you went after him in the end, because it wasn't his goal was to ultimately have everyone killed. His goal was to get out of STEM and get to Leslie, so that way he can, use his body as his new body.
And hence get revenge or whatever, right?
Yeah, get revenge for some shit that he's never actually going to get revenge for. So, it's there wasn't really... I like the first Evil Within, so, I just want to clarify that. But there wasn't any, real motivation behind, why you need to stop Ruvik. There were things that I noticed in some of the chapters that really made me question, is there a possibility that reincarnation is a possible theme in this game and possibly in future games, because there's a few screenshots you see around or photos that are posted up on walls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That just seem very reminiscent, or maybe Sebastian's ancestors or something are tied to this, and that's why it would make a little bit more sense that Ruvik is kind of pushing him through all this stuff. So, I don't know. It just, yeah, I think like having that more personal connection, which is also something they've been really pushing, is really an interesting subject.
Oh yeah.
Now for myself, or I'm sorry, did you have anything else to say, or?
No. Go on. Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah, so for myself, the one thing that I really noticed and it really stood out to me was the new crossbow in the gameplay.
Oh
So,
yeah.
yeah, they changed the design of the crossbow. And I wasn't really sure why, but I got the feeling that maybe the reason why they changed it was because it can do things that the other crossbow couldn't from the first game. So that would make sense for an updated model or a new model to show up.
Yeah. There's only one thing that kind of bothers me with the crossbow, and it's like it's aiming reticle or whatever, you know.
Oh, because it's like sideways, right?
Yeah, it's like throwing a rock. It's not like shooting an arrow. It like The Last of Us did this too, and it bothered me. Like, I'm not throwing a rock. I'm shooting an arrow. You know?
Yeah. Well, specifically about the crossbow that really caught my eye was the new bolt that they have, where you can set up a tripwire.
Yeah.
And I remember in the first Evil Within, they were going to have traps that you can craft in the game and use up against the enemies. Like a lot of the, like the bombs that you can disable in the first game. That was originally a tool that you could use, and also the bear traps. That was stuff that you could like actually use on your own, which would have been like a great idea. But I don't really know why they cut that. But it seems like they're like bringing that sort of like concept and idea back with like now with like using the crossbow. Also, one other thing that I noticed, and I don't know, because I know I mentioned this in our analysis for the E3 trailer. Because in the trailer, he holds his revolver in the beginning. He gets the 1911, the Colt 45. And he uses that in this trailer as well, but on the cover he's using an M9, and it's really throwing me mixed messages. Are they just using those guns as like placeholder images, or and are we just going to be stuck with the 1911, or are we actually going to have a similar like RE4 type of weapon progression system where you can stick with the same weapon and upgrade that to its max potential, or you can go with the next tier and upgrade that weapon if you wanted to?
I would love it personally if they did RE4 way. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, I would. I think I can agree with that. It's
Yeah.
especially because it would up the weapon variety. Because that was one thing that I had an issue with on the Evil Within 1.
Did RE5 have that? Just kind of off topic. Did RE5 have that system? Like,
Oh, the getting new weapons and then like upgrading them?
yeah, it did, didn't it?
Yeah. It actually doubled the amount, if I'm not mistaken, or tripled the amount. Because you had like, I think there was like 5 handguns in total, and then you had like an extra secret one once you upgraded the initial handgun, and that was the same thing for like all the other weapons too.
That was
yeah.
that system. Like, one of my friends that lives near me, he loves RE5 because of that system alone, and I see where it's coming from, really. So I think it's I think it's a good system.
Yeah, I think that's not so much of a bad system. Honestly, if not that system, just going back to like something that is sort of tied to Shinji and his work, Resident Evil, and specifically 3.
Yeah.
Because, like 3 had the custom parts, or like you would find the custom parts, and or I'm sorry, no, that was 2 that had the custom parts. But 3, sometimes you could like craft the weapons if you killed Nemesis.
Yeah.
So like stuff like that, like I wouldn't mind that if they did something like that, where like maybe you have to find the actual gun parts and then craft the gun itself in order to get that gun.
That would be
or
great.
you can use Yeah, or you can use parts to actually upgrade the weapon, because they did that also a little bit in 4, where you can buy a better scope or you can buy a better stock, but it never really went beyond anything like that.
Yeah, and you could also like, couldn't you find parts in 4?
No, in 4, no.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you had to buy them, I think, or yeah, you had to buy them.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah. So I'll let you take on number 3.
Alright, what are your thoughts on Anson Mount not reprising the role of Sebastian? I'm okay with it. Like, it's too early to tell because the game is not out yet. But for now, I'm okay with it. I'm indifferent on this, really. You know, I want to see how he does the role, like the
new actor.
Yeah, the new actor once, the game is out.
Yeah, I do agree with that stance. I wasn't so sure about the new actor. The only reason why I say that is because they sound a lot younger. And that's not necessarily an issue, but it is off-putting when you know that Sebastian, in the first game at least, sounds a lot older by comparison. So when you jump over to the second game, it just sounds really weird. Because it's like, he sounds really gruff and old in the first game, and then he just sounds like a lot younger. So, and maybe that just might be the lines that they're using, because you do see a younger Sebastian in the trailer as well, which you do see him in the DLC for the first game. But so like maybe that's why he sounds younger, but only specifically for that, and that's why they only use that line. And maybe he could sound very similar. I don't know. So I do agree with waiting and seeing. Although, do I think that Anson, coming back, would that have been bad? No, not necessarily. I didn't mind him as Sebastian. I know some people didn't really care for him per se, but I didn't think he was bad.
Yeah, it's, how should I put it? As long as it's not like, I think the only game who did that really bad, where there's a younger voice actor in play, was Splinter Cell, Blacklist. That was really off-putting.
Yeah.
Like, you have Sam Fisher being like this edgy, like, old man in like Conviction, and then you go to Blacklist, like, whoa, what happened here?
Yeah, I did not like how Blacklist Sam Fisher sounded. It was, I was like, I like Conviction. Conviction's voice acting is great, by the way. And I know this is diverging, but Conviction's voice acting is really great. But the gameplay in Blacklist is better. Like, the story and voice acting in Conviction is top tier. Blacklist voice acting and story is just kind of like, I didn't really pay attention, I didn't really care. But the gameplay is really fun.
Yeah.
Like, can I have a mix between that? Can I have the really good voice acting and story, but also the gameplay of Blacklist? Like, that's all I'm asking for. I don't think that'd be too much. Actually, I would say, if we want to go and point to bad examples of replacing voice actors, fucking Metal Gear Solid 5. I was going to say Survive. But Metal Gear Solid 5... replacing David Hayter with Kiefer, Kiefer did not sound good. I feel like he would have been great as his own like character. Like if he was Skullface, for example, I think he would have been maybe a lot more interesting or something like that, or just his own unique villain, or protagonist, whichever one you want to go for. But as Big Boss, he was just so boring. I personally compare him to Devil May Cry 2 Dante, and the sad thing is that the small lines that and I forget the voice actor's name for Devil May Cry 2 Dante, but that voice actor just sounded a lot cooler whenever he did talk. The only problem that game has, as far as the voice acting is concerned, was that voice actor did not have a lot to work with. They had like maybe 4 lines in total.
Yeah, the main problem I had with in MGS5 in particular, I know this is like sidetracking a little bit, but it's like it wasn't even so much that it was Kiefer's voice, because his voice sounded fine to me. It was that he was so underused. to the point
Yeah.
of where it's literally like he almost felt like you were playing a mute.
Yeah.
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 That. I guess you can kind of say the same thing about Anson Mount when he was doing Sebastian. I mean, Sebastian did talk.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, he would just say, like, a one-liner, or he'll talk whenever there was somebody there. Like, he'd be like, what the fuck? What's wrong with this kid? Like, okay.
Which makes sense. I mean, you don't talk when there's nobody around, but at the same time, when you actually
They
do
really
talk.
should have... Right. I feel like they really should have maybe put more instances where he should have talked.
Yeah.
But I think now, though, like, they're probably going to change that with this being a more personal story. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
So I think it's my turn now to read. Any thoughts on the small bits of gameplay shown in the trailer?
Like I said before, I think this is like RE4 done today, which looks great. In all honesty, I think, yeah, it looks really good in my, like, just you know, I don't know how to describe it really, but it's like, oh shit, now my brain died.
Well, one thing I noticed, and I'm not sure if you noticed this too, but like the camera is a lot better with the aiming.
Yeah.
They did do a little bit of aiming, but it's a lot better. You have a better FOV now. It's really really good to see that. Also, the stealth seems to be improved.
Oh, yeah.
Like, vastly.
Oh yeah, that's one thing that made me happy, because the stealth in the previous one were a bit tedious.
Even in the DLC.
Well, the DLC was only stealth, so...
Yeah, but even in the DLC, though, like, the stealth was not that great either.
I will slightly defend the Kidman DLC as being like... It was... From a story perspective, it was okay, but, like, the gameplay, it's kind of tedious.
Oh yeah, I agree. I actually dislike the gameplay, but the story I don't mind. If there's one DLC that I hate from the first game, that I think they should avoid, like, taking gameplay from at all, it's the Keeper DLC.
Yeah.
That one, oh my Christ, that one's so bad. But so stealth was one thing. Seems like you can also do, like, environmental stuff now a lot more.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Because I'm not sure if you noticed, like, the fire thing that he did, where, like, he shot the oil drum.
Yeah, I saw that. It was like, yes. Oh, that's it. Didn't the first one have, like, barrels that you could shoot? And
They did, but it doesn't seem like as... like, in the first one, it only seemed like it was just, like, that limited amount that they placed there because you would have to use it. Whereas in this game, it just kind of seems like you have to kind of think on your feet and really think, do you want to use that? Do you want to save that? Do you know, depending on the situation you're in. That's what it kind of seems like to me, at least.
But, one thing they better not take out is collecting brain juice. Please, let that be in.
See, I don't know, because they did not show that, and that's something I want to bring up when we get to the next question.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're actually going to keep that or if they're going to replace it with a different system.
Yeah, because I was just running around in the last game like, ooh, brain juice. Ooh, piece of candy. It was great.
PC candy.
Ooh, piece of candy.
That's fucking great.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'll let you take on the next one.
Alright, now to shift gears, what were your thoughts on the pre-order DLC? And let me take a look at that picture again. Yep. So, handgun looks really fucking awesome. Looks like it has... Is that a muscle?
I thought it was a compensator, actually.
Yeah, it looks like a compensator or a muscle or something. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I think, at first I thought it was a standard M9.
Yeah.
That, you know, kind of like, to me, initially, it looked like Barry Burton's Samurai Edge from Resident Evil. Mm-hmm. And at least the way that it's customized, it does kind of give me that vibe. But actually, it seems like it's an M93 Raffica, just customized a little bit differently, so it doesn't have like the stock or the little like handle on the front.
Yeah.
But it does have that compensator, which is really interesting.
As for the other stuff, like the crafting supplies and the medical supplies, I'm like, I don't need extra of this shit. Just a handgun, please.
Yeah, they do. They did that with the first DLC, the DLC, pre-order DLC for the first game, but we'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah.
For myself personally, I don't mind getting the extra DLC weapon. I just hope that they don't make this like, oh, it's a pre-order exclusive, and once the pre-orders are done, you are never going to see this again. If you pre-ordered it, it's on your account, unless if you lose your account forever, right?
I fucking hate that shit.
Yeah, that's something that I actually dislike about the Fighting Chance pack.
Yeah.
Because like you cannot purchase that anymore. That was exclusive, and I think it also had an expiration date, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that's also bullshit. Fucking codes having expiration dates.
Oh, you just made me remember something about expiration dates. This is off topic as well, but we can sort this out quickly. I bought Assassin's Creed 3 collectors back in the day, and you'd get the Benedict Arnold DLC, but I didn't have internet back then for my PS3. But about a year later, I got internet, and then the expiration date was like 2 weeks before I got internet.
Oh, that fucking blows.
Yeah, so yeah, rip 1 hour DLC, you know.
So yeah, shit like that. It's like I don't want to see that happen again for the Wolf End 2. Really, I mean, it's very similar to the Fighting Chance DLC, although what's different is that rather than getting like a shotgun, you're getting a handgun. So it's very interesting why they decided to change it that way, but it's whatever. I don't really mind. I'm just gonna upload it here so I can take a look at that when we start discussing the other questions.
Right.
So I think, I mean, unless if you have anything else to say on the subject.
No, not on the subject, really.
Okay, so now on to the crafting parts, specifically in this pre-order bundle. They seem to look like a pile of gun parts, so it might seem like you would probably use them to upgrade your guns, but do you think there's a possible chance you might use them to craft other things besides gun parts?
I mean, there's probably other things. It would be awesome if you could, like, craft, like, traps, grenades, whatever the fuck. It's, no, I don't think it's exclusive for just, like, upgrading gun parts or whatever. And I think it can be used for, like, some other items,
Yeah, I hope that that's not, like, exclusive to gun parts, because it looks like, because if you look at the pre-order DLC picture, that's what it looks like. It's just a bunch of gun parts lying around.
Yeah.
Like, I can see that there's a part for, like, a lower rifle receiver and part of a grip for it. I see, like, a slide, some, what looks like a stock, and maybe some other wooden parts, and also a barrel. So it's like, and maybe there's like a smaller part. It kind of looks like a mag release or something, or slide release. Sorry. So it's like I wonder if that's just specifically just to upgrade your gun, or is that going to be used for other stuff? But on the other hand, I think maybe if it's exclusive to the guns, maybe we can see some visual changes. Because I'd actually really like to see that if we got, like, visual changes as we upgraded the guns.
It's like silver engravings skin.
Fucking engravings? You can't use engravings. Ocelot's gonna fucking bust a cap in your asshole.
Yeah. Well, like CSGO skins for Evil Within 2.
Oh, Jesus, fuck. Alpha packs for fucking Evil Within 2.
Now single player games are also having them.
You get like a fucking 2% chance just to get crafting parts, and your percentage only increases by like 0.2. Oh, I'm sorry, no, 0.002 if you complete the game.
Oh my god, that would be the worst.
It's an ingenious idea.
Yes.
Kappa.
Yes. Bethesda, hire us.
We're gonna turn this company into shit. Okay. So I will let you take on number 7.
All right. In comparison to the first game's pre-order DLC, the Fighting Chance Pack, what do you think of the Last Chance Pack overall? I don't know. It feels kind of the same, but I don't know. Actually, in all honesty, I don't remember what was in the Fighting Chance Pack. Hold on.
The Fighting Chance Pack, and I know this because I actually have it. You got a double-barreled shotgun that you cannot upgrade. You got 2 bolts for the Agony Crossbow, the Incendiary Bolt, and the Poison Gas Bolt. Also, items you cannot upgrade. Green gel and a medical pack like you do in this game. The biggest issue that I have with the Fighting Chance Pack,
yeah,
and I might have the same issue with the Last Chance Pack if they follow the same route, is that in the Fighting Chance Pack you cannot upgrade any of the weapon-based stuff. So you can't upgrade the double-barreled shotgun. You know, like I feel like they should have allowed you to get like faster reload speed and maybe some higher damage, even though you can't do like more ammo. Like I would have been fine with just the faster reload and more damage stuff. And as far as and maybe like the weapon sway stuff too, but like that's beside the point. And then as far as the bolts are concerned, the Incendiary Bolt is not a bad bolt. You can actually use that. It just takes up a lot of crafting parts. So, like, I won't shit on that one so much, even though I dislike the fact that you can't upgrade it in any way. It's actually the Poison Gas Bolt that I had an issue with, because it literally did nothing. Like, you could shoot it in the general area of where enemies would be at, and they would just stand there. And it's really weird because it says in the picture and in the item description that it's supposed to be used to lure enemies away. And once they are, or if you shoot it in their kind of like vicinity, they start like, in the picture they're like throwing up and shit because they're like stunned. So it's like, well, why doesn't that actually happen? It doesn't do anything.
Your game was glitched, Dom.
It's like, it's the most useless bolt in the game. And I'm not saying that if these 2 bolts in particular ever like make it back into 2 and they're not pre-order DLC and they're not just DLC, they're just stuff that you can just craft from the get-go, I wouldn't mind them coming back, but as long as they fix the issues that mostly with the Poison Gas Bolt, if they fix those issues, because that's not bad. But by comparison, there was more stuff in the Fighting Chance Pack than there is in the Last Chance Pack.
There's only like 2 bolts, really. I mean,
yeah, true. I mean, you get a shotgun and you get 2 bolts as far as weapon-based stuff is concerned.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, you get a gun and crafting parts. And maybe you can upgrade the gun. Maybe that's why they included the crafting parts, because they think, oh, well, maybe you want to upgrade this gun instead of the one that you start off with. And that would make sense, actually. So it's like, I don't know. And then also that there's no green gel, so it seems like they're giving you less. I think I would have sacrificed the health pack over the green gel, because the thing is that the health pack does technically count as an upgrade item. And I think, I'm not sure if it takes away one from the actual like story mode or anything in the first game, or anything like that, but it does technically count as an upgrade. You know what I mean? Well, as a health upgrade. So
you
it's
said
like,
you
I don't
replace it with green gel, right? Well, at the same time, we don't know if that really returns to this one. When you think about it, so I mean, again, it remains to be seen for the green gel at least.
Yeah, I mean, if not that, I think I would have just replaced it with like another weapon. Because it's not like you have to use the weapons per se, whereas like, you know, the health pack, you're gonna have to use it. You know, especially if you're just going on a normal run rather than the no upgrade run. Like, I feel like that would just make more sense. So I mean, overall, I do feel like it's semi better, but semi underwhelming at the same time. Like, at least what it includes, it's underwhelming. But on the other hand, it's better because it has less of the upgrading stuff to a technicality. At least character upgrade.
I'll say this though. I'm looking at the fighting chance pack, and I love how in the commercial it's just like double barrel shotgun and free shells.
Yeah, that's what it was. It also gave you ammo. It's like,
here are free shells.
Oh man, I don't know if they try to hype it up as much, but man, that would have been. Oh, that's fucking great.
Yeah, that would have been funny as hell if when it burst handgun it will just be like, you get 6 9mm bullets. Like,
oh, so you just get to shoot it twice.
Yes.
That's, oh my god. That would. I'm kind of happy they're not doing that for the advertising. Oh,
that would be funny.
That's just gonna be cringe. Bethesda, don't hire this man for advertising. He would just take advantage of it.
No. Hire me. I'll let you know how to make money the scummy way.
Right.
Yes.
Was it my turn or your turn to read the next question? I think it was my turn, right? Yeah. What do you think about people complaining about the DLC along with pre-order DLC as a practice as opposed to when it was a more serious issue?
So what you're saying is they're complaining about it now, but it's been a thing for years?
Yeah, just pre-order. They're complaining about pre-order DLC now, even though it was more of a relevant issue years ago, also just them complaining about the DLC itself,
or like them starting to realize that it's a thing now, but it's been a thing for years. I mean, in all honesty, it's kind of like, yeah, you're late to the show. I see where you're coming from, but you're also late to the show. The least thing they can do is, like, if they have pre-order DLC, and I do agree with them on this, is that you at least put that shit up for sale after launch. Because I don't like pre-ordering games a lot, you know?
Yeah, I do agree.
Yeah. But as for pre-order DLC practice, I don't know if itself, I'm kind of like, you're fine to complain about it, but just know it's been a thing for years, you know?
Yeah. I do have to agree. Like, I personally think that people complaining about pre-order DLC now, at least when it's not really too much of a big deal per se, because there are some pre-order DLCs that are like, yeah, they're trying to nickel and dime people, but when it's like pre-order DLC like this, it's like, it's been a thing for a while, and there was a time where you could have complained. There have been people years ago that complained about it when it was a more relevant issue, and because you yourself might have chosen not to complain about it, you're too little too late.
I remember Duke Nukem Forever's pre-order DLC, holy shit. It was literally like his color hack, so you could recolor Duke's shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make his head bigger and smaller. That was it.
Wow.
So it was actual, like, cheating with the coding, that was it. Pre-order DLC.
Yeah, that feels like it should have been an unlock.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the same time, though, like, if the DLC is an issue, right? If you still want to play the game, but you just cannot stand pre-order DLC, or you just do not want to touch the game because it has pre-order DLC, you could just, you know, like you mentioned, you could, you could just not download it. You could just hold off on the download until, you know, you've beaten the game at least once. You could give it to somebody who might have gotten the game used, but, you know, and just didn't happen to get that DLC code, or they lost that DLC code, or whatever the case may be. Or you can sell it, you know. I'm sure somebody would want to buy it off of you. Mm-hmm. There's so many other alternatives if the DLC itself is such an issue. And, you know, going back to, I think I said this earlier too when it came to the Fighting Chance pack of the first game, a lot of this stuff you don't have to use. You don't have to use the double-barreled shotgun, or in this case, you don't have to use the burst pistol.
Yeah, of course.
You don't. Obviously, the health upgrade, if you're going on a normal run, yes, you're going to end up using it because you want to upgrade your health and stuff like that. But if you're going on the no upgrade run, obviously you wouldn't touch that. So, that's completely up to you at that point.
I mean, I get it from the perspective of, hey, I used to want a gun, and, I didn't get it because you pre-ordered the game. I understand that, but at the same time, it's kind of like, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
So, any final thoughts on that subject, or
No,
are
not
we
really.
good to move on? Alrighty, so I will let you take on number 9.
Alright. One of the final subjects here. What were your thoughts on the new screenshots and GIFs that were revealed? Let's take a look at them right now. Let's see here.
Yeah, there was a number of screenshots.
Yeah, I even tweeted you some the other day.
Yeah, I know you tagged me in that tweet. I tweeted out about them after you sent me them.
Yeah.
Hold on, I have the tweet that I put out here, which
actually, Bethesda's. I'm looking at the screenshots, and in this thread that you linked here, they do say that green gel exists.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
okay, that's good. That's good clarification.
There's actually some info here. It says, in addition to an increased movement speed while crouching, the stealth tree can allow you to perform sneak kills. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was something that they had in the first game. So as far as the new screenshots are concerned, I mean, I see some where Sebastian's like hiding and crouching, and I've seen the GIFs for that before. It seems like one thing that I thought Stefano was not actually going to do was, pursue you or anything like that, but it seems like he might be doing that, and that's something that Ruvik didn't do, I'm sorry. Like, Ruvik never really did that. I mean, they had that gimmick for one chapter, but that would have been...
Actually, there's a story behind that.
Mm-hmm.
He actually did in beta versions of the game, but it got so frustrating because he would almost insta-kill you. Because he'd come out of nowhere, like, BAM! Like Slenderman or whatever, It's like, out in front of you, and if you walked into him, he would insta-kill you, Even happens in the main game at one point, if you walk in front of him, when he appears, he'll insta-kill you,
Yeah, they just had it for the gimmick of that one chapter.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Ruvik, he was gonna do that through the entire game, but it was way too random, so it made the game a lot frustrating. So people who played it in beta said that, take this other game, it ruins our experience. Like, they got really negative feedback off that, so they deleted it, I think.
Yeah, I think, because looking at Stefano, though, it seems like they're going to do that again, but it seems like because they did say that the game is going to be a lot more open. So I'm just, thinking about that from a screenshot perspective and what we kind of have seen in trailers and stuff like that.
It looks more open.
It does seem like they've given you more room to kind of, work with. So, you can get away even though he's, roaming around and hunting you down, or at least Stefano is, at least, because I wonder if he's going to be able to, teleport and shit like Ruvik, though.
He will be this game's Yak Baker.
Oh, fucking Christ, no. That shit doesn't even make sense. Resident Evil can fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck right off with that shit. Oh, actually, here's something I did not mention yet. Did you notice that there was an enemy in one of those screenshots that looked a little bit like they were from The Last of Us?
I did. The one that's got, fungus from his head. It looks like the clicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, as long as it's not as annoying as a clicker, I'm down for it. Fuck clickers in Last of Us, by the way.
Yeah.
They just beat the shit out of you when they appear.
I just hope it's not like you said, just not bullshit like that, where it's one grab death.
Yeah.
I hope it's not it doesn't look like it's going to be a stealth requirement thing. It looks like you do have to actually shoot and fight against them. I I'm hoping that, because it might just be the screenshot being a still. It could just be that Sebastian got a headshot and it's blood and like paint squirting out of its head, but it just looks like it's fungus growing out of his head instead.
It looks cool as shit. It really does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, like, I'm sure you've noticed that a lot of the enemies have this like paint motif, like this white paint motif instead of barbed wire.
That's something I noticed. Like again with the Hannibal theme, it's like it shows murder as some kind of like a weird artsy form.
Yeah.
Which links back to Stefano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was like another image where it says, "Smile for me."
Yeah, it says "smile for me." Some images are like classic, like a woman getting grabbed by hands.
Yeah.
One of them is a lot of hands grabbing a woman, and then there's like an eye twitching. It's like a gif.
Yeah, with like the hands all over the face.
And three of these screenshots are just like very Hannibal, like somebody like mutilated corpses and turned them into art.
Yeah. Like there was the one with the blood splatter wings, and I wasn't sure if that was supposed to be like an angel or a butterfly, but it looked more like a butterfly.
Yeah.
So
also,
that was like
minor spoiler for Hannibal. That shit does happen in Hannibal. Like there is psychopaths in that show that like turns their victims into angels and shit. It's disgusting.
Yeah,
so,
it's definitely like, and that's not a bad thing if they took inspiration from that, because I definitely think that can make it work. Because like one of the other screenshots where like Sebastian's on a street, and you can see some houses in the distance, but it's like kind of foggy. It kind of seems like they took a little bit of inspiration from Silent Hill.
Yeah, but if you do you have the screenshot in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Do you see like very much behind the houses? There's like some weird thing going up in the sky. I wonder what that is. That's gotta be like some kind of stem effect or something. That looks awesome.
Yeah. That I know they had that shit in the E3 trailer with like it was like falling from the sky.
Yeah.
So like I wonder. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Also, by the way, the Unreal Engine looks great.
What engine is this game running on?
I think it's Unreal. That's the thing.
Is it?
I think so.
I was confused by what engine they were going to be running this game on, because like the game and the screenshots that we're looking at, they look good. They look a lot better than the first game. But one thing that I know we were talking about before in the past, at least in the group with like Ren and all them, is that we weren't sure if this was still the engine that they were using from the first game, or if this was a brand new engine from the ground up. Or
I think it's Unreal, but some source.
Oh, good.
It says it comes down to either id Tech 6 or Unreal 4, right?
Okay.
So it's like, I don't know, but it looks very Unreal. It really does. So, because Unreal has that kind of like shiny glow effect on everything.
Yeah. But I guess the thing is that if it's not Unreal. Like, I'm thinking it might not be Unreal 4, because wouldn't they have to advertise that they're using Unreal 4?
I think so.
Because don't they have to show that
That or they have
Unreal
to pay them a lot of
4
royalties, I think.
Right, because I would think that they would want to show the Unreal 4 engine, like, logo.
Let me search
right
this.
after the rating.
Yeah.
So, I'm not... That's actually a really good...
It's either id Tech 5 or 6.
At,
yeah, it's probably id Tech 5 or 6.
Probably 6.
Yeah, it's gotta be 6. I mean, if it's 5, then props to them. It looks better, but it's probably 6.
Yeah, probably 6, just because it's like.
Let's hope this one is optimized well then. If it is id Tech, because id Tech Doom on PC runs very weird. And Fallout 4 ran weird at launch. It still has problems in cities with shadow effects making the frame rate like go to hell.
Yeah.
And it also in general, like id Tech or like for Wolfenstein as well, it's like it didn't run that well,
Yeah, and on the Evil Within one, I think part of the problem with because they were using id Tech 5, right, for 1.
Yeah.
Um,
The port
the
wasn't
problem
that
with
good.
that game, in general, and I know there's people out there that like to defend the bad frame rate and shit like that. But the problem with that game was that they had too many platforms to focus on.
Yeah.
They had, the PS3 and 360, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And that, I think, was a big detriment.
Also,
But now it seems like they're going to be focusing on Xbox One, PS4, Xbox One X support will be there, possibly PS4 Pro support, and then obviously PC.
yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Also, I just realized Fallout 4 is not save engine. My apologies before I get yelled at.
Yeah, it's Test 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. One last thing on the screenshots, because I know we really diverged. And I've pointed this out before, but I want to point it out again because it's really confusing to me as to why. But the haunted have red glowing eyes instead of white. What are your thoughts on that? Because there is that screenshot with the 3 haunted women that are running towards him.
I don't know. I think glowy eyes kind of ruin the feel for me because it's kind of like regular eyes are more frightening in my opinion because when you make your eyes glow red, it kind of feels a bit more cheesy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know. Other than that, I don't have a huge problem with it. It looks cool still, you know.
Yeah, because like I said though, like it confuses me because in the first game there were white glowing eyes, you know. But in this game they're red glowing eyes, and I think in the DLC they might have had like yellow and red, but I'm not too sure. So I don't know why they decided to do that. Maybe there's some lore behind that as to why they look different from, say, the first game. So it'll be interesting to see if they can explain that.
Yeah.
But other than that, there was not really much else to talk about. There was not too many images. There was just like maybe 8 in total.
I have a subject actually. I just wanted to congratulate the dev for realizing that black letterboxing was awful in the previous
Yeah.
one. So not only did they patch it out, but in this one they dropped it entirely. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah. I didn't mind it in the first game. I know why people had an issue with it. But overall, I do think it was an improvement.
Yeah.
Because it was a major criticism, among other things. Like I'm hoping, doesn't look like the game is because I have an issue with the frame rate actually. If anything, it doesn't look like the game will be running at 60 FPS on base console hardware.
Yeah.
Maybe on Pro, maybe on Xbox One X.
I hope so.
I'm really hoping so, because I would really like to see that game get 60 FPS on at least something, and stable 30 on most of everything.
It definitely will on my PC, so I'm not too worried.
Yeah, well, if you're getting it on PC, go above and beyond 60.
Yes.
Do it.
Yes.
It's fucking glorious.
Yes. 144.
No, dude, fucking play Devil May Cry 4 and just max that shit out to like you can if you have the proper
game that like runs at like 2,000 frames per second?
It can if you like. It's so fucking well. It's basically future proof. It's so well fucking optimized that if you have the right hardware for it and the proper settings, you could probably get that game to run locked 2,000 frames basically. It's fucking glorious. It's buttery smooth. Every game needs to be like that.
Yep.
Over 1,000 frames. I would like fucking come buckets if The Evil Within 2 did that.
Let me just write that down. Hold on.
Oh, fucking great.
Alright,
so, final thoughts, because I know this was like not a lot. There was not too much to talk about. I think the bigger thing was the Survive trailer.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts from you personally?
Don't make a shit port. Yeah, that seems about right.
On PC.
Or well, that goes for all of the platforms. Don't in general, just don't make a bad port. That goes for anything and anyone.
True.
Yeah.
Though the PC port, I think, suffered the most initially.
Which is sad because, well, now when we have later hardware, it runs fine. But, you know, back then... Yeah! You know?
Yeah.
They did patch it to be better, though.
I would say, for my own personal final thoughts, I look forward to more information on the game. But I'm hoping, because, like, I just took all this stuff together because it was, like, a lot of small information, so why not just do a one-on-one on that? And just do it, like, you know, just talk about all the small stuff in bulk. But I hope that we can get some, like, really big information soon. Because I would definitely be up for doing another follow-up to this.
Yeah, sure.
To, you know, really talk about, like, extensively, like, what we see, what we know. Because right now there really isn't too much going on right now as far as information for this game is concerned. Hopefully...
Oh, right. Another thing, actually. Make a collector's edition, please.
Yes! Yeah, come on. I want a fucking collector's edition. Give me a steelbook
Wolfenstein
and
2
statue.
has it! Give us a collector's edition.
They have a fucking statue, I'm sorry, it's an action figure, not a statue. But I want a statue for the Earwolf then, and a fucking steelbook. That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah.
Hell, if you want to be even more fucking greedy, you can throw in, like, extra DLC. I don't give a fuck. I'll buy it. I just want a steelbook. Give me a steelbook.
Yeah, come on, normies, do it.
Yeah, you fucking normies. Alright, this has been another TIAS.
Yes.
One-on-one. Martin, where can we find you, sir?
You can find me, on the PsychoRender on, like, any website, probably.
Alrighty, you guys, if you're watching this on my channel, you know where to find me, but if you're not watching this on my channel, you can find me as biodevil_dom on YouTube, Twitter, as well as on Twitch. I will see you all in the near future. I have probably, like, one other video to work on this year, and then I won't be back until 2018. And this motherfucker's gonna help me work on Siege shit.
Yes. Hi.
Yes. Goodbye. We're leaving.
Bye.
Get the fuck out of this video. Go watch other TIAS videos. Do it.
Yes.
Fucking do it!
Watch EU Division.